All right, fantastic. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kirk. How you guys doing? Paul here, broadcasting from, look at this, beautiful San Francisco. Actually, in our studio, which overlooks the beautiful Bay Bridge, as you can see. So, good to see you. We're going to cover the Shaper tool in Illustrator, and we're going to create actually some, basically some objects. You can pretty much use this for anything, so it's pretty awesome. So, curious where you guys are from. Obviously, I got a picture of San Francisco behind me. That's the actual Golden Gate Bridge. It's actually there. That's not a photo. That's out the window. I'm kidding. But a live pixel. And Andreas, good to see you. I'm ready to get this party started because this is being recorded, Mark. So, yeah, I want to dive right into it if that is cool. So, we'll just switch over. Here's my magnificent Adobe Illustrator CC 2017. Although this tool right over here, the Shaper tool, actually we released it about a year ago. Used largely also for sort of touch devices because it's like the one tool to rule them all. What's up, Peru's in the house? Houston, Ukraine, love it. Love Seoul, South Korea, Brazil. Good to see you guys. That's what I'm talking. Fiji's in the house. Germany, Netherlands. Every place that I want to be, but I'm also happy to be here in front of you guys. So, if you guys are aware of the Shaper tool, or if not, that's fantastic. It's this one right here. It's like, oh, a little pencil with a circle by it. And then guess what? It says Shaper tool, Shift N, okay? And that shortcut's important because you can use those shortcut keys. It's really just one key or one tool that will allow you to do everything. So you're like, okay, I want to draw like a rectangle. I think I suck at drawing rectangles. Oh, guess what? No, you're pretty good. Look at that. Wow. What about a triangle? I don't think I kind of suck. Oh, no, you're pretty good at that too, right? But I'm using one tool to draw all these different shapes. So hopefully that makes sense. Peter from Macedonia, which is awesome. Morocco, one of my favorite places in the entire world. I'm not kidding. San Diego, we were just there for Adobe Max. But that's what I've done. I've drawn all these shapes. I can click on them. Again, I'm still using the same tool, okay? What if I want to, of course, round the corners? That's easy enough, right? What about if I want to create a shape that has more sides to it? You know? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 9, 10, 11. Oh, geez. I didn't know it went clear to 11. I thought it only went to like 7. I don't know if it's an octa what. I don't know what sort of gone it is, but Tunisia's in the house. Chile, Nepal, Albania. This is why I love being live, and this is super cool. Claudia, I hope you're keeping warm in Syracuse, New York. So again, that's what I'm doing, just kind of adjusting this. And again, I get these controls right here to change it to whatever I want. Even for the circle, right? I can grab this little node right here and expand that out, and you can see that it'll give me the percentage of charts that look like Pac-Man. That's what that is right there, right? Because that's what it seems like. Okay, and I can always undo this stuff, of course, using that same tool, right? I'm like, okay, I want to create like a maybe like a map icon. Okay, so I'm still using the same tool. I'm not switching to the selection tool. Again, I'm in Illustrator, obviously. Moving this down kind of like that. And, yeah, let's actually take this one. Right here it is. I can kind of put it right there. And check this out. Using the same tool, I'm going to connect the two. Let's just scribble over that line. And now they're connected. All right. So if you guys can see that, I'll hit F. So you can see I'm obviously in Illustrator. When I do that, I can click on it. Notice how I didn't get it right. See what I'm talking about here? Sunday. I actually want to align this a little better. Well, I can. Okay, so I can actually expand or dive right into this and click. Okay, so I can expand into it. If I select it, I get this little arrow. Arrow says, hey, you can edit me, okay? So I didn't delete that line. All that math is still there. So I'll select that. I'm allowed to select that triangle or circle or really whatever's in there. Boom, there's your ice cream cone, right? Or whatever you want to do. You want to do a map icon? Let's just kind of do a circle, and then I can scribble out the inside, and there's your map icon. Pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at this, because this is really cool, okay? Anders, what's up? That's a cool name, Anders. I like that. Anders from Denmark. Awesome. Ooh, thank you, Alive Pixel. 11 sides is a hendecagon. Awesome. You're either really smart or really good at using Google. So yeah, Andreas. Oh yeah, man. Awesome. Couple on Andres, good to see you. So here, again, everything's made up of basic shapes. And I'll cover this, but check this out. Like, okay, here's all these shapes. What is it? Well, let's just start erasing some of these sides just by scribbling over that line, scribbling over this line, scribbling over this line, right? And you can start to see this shape emerge, which happens to be a fish, as you can tell, right? So again, pretty cool. I can scribble out that line. You can always zoom in and imagine if you're on a touch device, so I don't want that line there. That's done. You guys get the idea. This is all one solid shape, by the way, right? So I can select it and say, hey, you know what? I want it to be a different color, and obviously I can pick that different color. Right? There we go. That's pretty good, right? Cool. Gotta love Google. Right on, let's do this. So yeah, please subscribe, guys. We appreciate you guys. And I could always adjust this content because again, this is just full. The math is all there, right? So I can come in here and if I want to adjust, you know, the nose or the circle at all, any of these points, I can change them. Okay, but let me take a look at something more complex, and I'll probably only go for maybe another 10 minutes. Look at this. Whoa, what is going on here? Yeah, and again, guys, I'm using one tool. I'll pull this out. It's right here. This little guy, the shaper tool, Shift-N, okay? So I don't have to worry about using all these different tools because I basically used all of these with this one tool, okay? So let's dive into this shape now. This is actually a really well-known logo, and I don't know if anybody can kind of guess what it is. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if anybody has any guesses. Because I'm going to start just like erasing lines, and we can see this, you know, this bad boy emerge. Okay, so let's come in here. Let's start erasing that part. Let's erase this. Let's erase this. Let's erase this part. Just tell me what you think it is. Matus from Slovakia. I've been to Slovenia before. Any thoughts? Boom, Simon. Oh, there we go. Buck nailed it, right? So Buck has it. Buck Studios. And yes, I did have some pre-made content. Hopefully that was okay. I'll have to run over this just 3 times just to remove. Like that. Zip, 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 zip. And notice how as I move over these lines, you can see that it's actually keeping all that math. Did you guys know the Twitter logo was made up of a bunch of lines? Because it was, right? And all I'm doing is removing it, right? It's that easy. Cool. Oh, let's see. These lines here, that's all I'm doing, guys. But, you know, you need a tool like this, especially if you're working on mobile. You don't want to have to keep switching to different tools, but if you could have one of them that does many things, that works out really well. That line I'll fix in a second. Let's take a lot of these. Again, just scribbling over that. How about all these? You guys get the idea. Let's get into coloring it now too. You guys demand a logo right now, I'm sure, right? It's like, finish that logo. We already know what it is. Right? Yeah, it's like a bunch of slices of pizza. Yeah, you might want to use a Wacom. Might be a little quicker, of course, right? I'm just using a mouse, all right? Like that. Some of these little details I'm really gonna have to like kind of zoom in on to eliminate them. Just like that. I have some other announcements too today for you guys, so stay tuned on that. I'm glad you guys are joining me. If you guys are just jumping on and getting the notification, know that you know, this is. can easily rewind and watch it. All right, so that's pretty good. There's obviously the Twitter logo. We're going to colorize it as well. I didn't even need to switch tools. It's out of sheer habit that I do that. So it's something I kind of don't need to do. But obviously, there it is. Actually, I could switch to the final one, which is right here. Again, just made up of all of those lines. So hopefully this kind of shows you what I was working on, right? So yes, this is actually just live on YouTube right now. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Other than people asking about Wacom, again, the great thing is all the math is still in there for this object, and I just have turned on this background layer to show you all the little circles that it's made of, right? So you can kind of get the idea like that. Cool. Yeah, there's other apps. So again, I think what you guys are talking about is like, sort of you could use, what is it called? There's an app that will extend your desktop onto an iPad.
Duet?
And yeah, it's Duet. Yeah, Duet.
Duet is
and will it give you the controls for the pen and different things like that? There's another one out there. Astropad. So Astropad and Duet. Duet will kind of mirror your screen, so you could use, say, Apple Pencil and an iPad Pro, and then Astropad will actually give you controls for brushes to do something like this. So there it is. We can go back to our other fun shapes that we were making over here, pasting this in. You guys get the idea. Again, life doesn't need to be complex. But you can see how complex this is. Even as I select it, you could see all of those circles, right? So yeah. Awesome. Duet and Astropad, you guys are good. Just let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'm actually kind of refining this. Again, I'll just pull this out. Just using the, again, shaper tool right here. I also got asked last week about right down here, the shape builder tool. That's a different tool, but I'll show you how it works. It's somewhat similar. So in this case, I'll just, draw a bunch of circles. So I have all these different shapes that I want to connect. Well, the shape builder tool will allow me to, connect all these shapes together, right? So it's kind of similar to what I was doing earlier, but what this is doing is it actually eliminates the lines. So I actually can't go back in and move this circle out more if I'm making a cloud. Okay, so it actually eliminates the lines, and again, that's the shape builder in case you guys are curious in terms of tools that sound very similar. So if you want to start with two circles or whatever shape of the exact same size, you have to change the selection tool. To the selection tool. Not necessarily. I mean, if you should just tap on it. So again, show you real fast using the shaper tool. Like as soon as I draw, I can just click on it and that selects it. So I could do, a Command D if I wanted to duplicate it, for instance, or Command V, Command C, Command V. So that's, how you can obviously draw or create one that's a different size. But in terms of selecting, you can just click on it. So hopefully that's helpful. So this is Adobe Illustrator. So Madi does Madi special effects with your voice. All right, but nonetheless, it won't affect the overall performance. Honestly, if you put a ton of math in it, of course it might affect performance because you have all of those shapes in there. So I think it will over time, depending on how complex it is, right? Because all the math is still there. But still, it's vector. I think we're talking, it's going to take so many vectors to slow it down. So you're making a 3D box. The best way to connect the two squares, connect them exactly. You kind of get into some 3D stuff. We'll have to, kind of talk about that later. I always get questions on 3D for some reason. They'd have to be two that are the exact same size. And then typically you will skew them, right? So this one might be skewed this way. And probably what I'd do is I'd take this and flip it. And then connecting the two, you could delete this path and then join them. But honestly, you probably want those different colors. So there we go, just for flow, reflect those two. So I'm not 100% sure what you mean by joining, but nonetheless, I probably want this a different shade. Another way to do that is actually use 3D, which we'll cover that later as I wind down, guys. I'm gonna hop off here. I've been going for almost 20 minutes, but there's also 3D. Extrude and bevel. Click. Hey, you want that 3D? Preview it. And obviously, there's your 3D, and you can have it exact, like 45 degrees and all of that fun stuff. You can always make sure you can basically convert that to outlines, if you will, and control it like you could any other shape.
And there is the new snap to pixel grid.
Oh yeah, snap to pixel grid. Let's do that. There's other new things that, man, I wish I had more time. Let's take a look at this, for instance. Okay, so I just have the, I'm zoomed in 1200%. I'm in pixel preview. Okay, so let me turn that off. This is what things normally look like, but if you change pixel preview, I can actually see where those pixels land, and you can see it sometimes gets kind of blurry. Actually, this one looks pretty good, to be honest with you. It might have, yeah, so this is kind of what it typically would be like if you're just drawing something. You're like, hey, you know what? Illustrator is so good about being so exact that it might be at a sort of a sub-pixel level, okay? But then when you do this pixel preview, it's like, okay, well, if you output this as a ping file, you're going to get all this blurry edges, if you will. When all you really need to do with selecting your object right up here at the top, in fact, there's a little flyout menu, but I can say, hey, you know what? Align selected art to pixel grid. So that's what I'm going to do. Click. Bop, and now everything's nice and clean, okay? And then another thing you could do is like, you know what, on creation, as I'm working, just go ahead and align everything. So as I'm, drawing out that other ship that hopefully is a different color, it actually is on that. That's weird that there's a stroke there, but let's just get rid of that stroke. It actually will align it and snaps to the pixel grid. I actually feel it changing right now. But whether you're creating or transforming, it's always going to be snapped to that pixel grid. Last thing I'm going to show, and then I'm going to get out of here, asset export panel right here, which was introduced, I think, earlier in the springtime, I think around April or so. But basically, this is what I would do at this point. Like maybe you can take the same shape, drag it in here, and now you can export out this ship at, apparently all these different sizes, but here's your ping size, and let's add a scale to it. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, whatever, for different devices, whatever the case may be. You select it, you could export, done and done, boom. Yeah, makes it so easy. I clutter up my desktop really fast because it kicks out all those graphics really easily. All right, pixel preview. Again, just make sure you turn it on so you kind of know what trouble you might be getting yourself into at that sub-pixel level, but super easy to create and then snap things to that pixel in the upper right, as well as other places. All right, so there's more, Rob. Good to see you here, buddy. Always good to see you. Robzilla in the house. So next time, we'll learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube, but more importantly, I'm interested in knowing what you guys want to hear and see from us, because we're trying to add value to your workflow and actually show you some things that you may not have known, like pixel preview, asset export, shaper tool, all that good stuff. But not only for Illustrator, for Photoshop. We're actually going to be broadcasting live tomorrow starting at 9 a.m., doing a lot of UX and UI design and prototyping using Adobe XD for the next 3 days. We have some special guests coming in. I'm super excited about it because I think Adobe XD makes things really easy. So again, just go to adobelive.com and you can definitely kind of see the schedule there, and it's essentially on YouTube is what's going on. Thank you so much for posting that, Adobe Creative Cloud. That's it. Yeah, I want to see more Rob. Everybody wants to see more Rob. Thank you so much for joining me, Drew, and everybody from around the world. It means a lot to us, and we're just thankful you're here. Keep the conversation going. We hope to see you tomorrow and, yes, for the next 3 days, Adobe XD UI and UX design. Thanks, guys.